Ladies and gentlemen, now in today's video, we're going to be having a bit of a look and breaking down the full abilities for Terrax, who's one of the brand new champions arriving next month in March. Now, we've already had a look at Mole Man, and Mole Man looks really fun. He kind of looks like the love child of Corvus Glaive and Nick Fury, and I think he shows a fair bit of potential. But Terrax is a very interesting one, because this champion looks very different. If I were to summarize this champion on offense, I'd say that he's kind of like a cosmic version of a Mega Red by the look of it, because it looks like you really want to ramp up his rock field, and the longer you have that active, the more damage it deals. And if you can have that active for like 20-30 seconds, it looks like the damage output is just ridiculous. It looks very strong. So I think Terrax has shown a fair bit of potential. He's got some solid base utility as well, so I think he's going to be a good addition. I have decent hopes of Terrax, and I have some pretty high hopes for Mole Man as well. So both of the champions seem really good coming in March. However, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to Terrax, and I think kind of the best place to start is maybe talking about the rock field. So whenever he uses a special attack, his special attacks actually cost 100% less power, but after each special attack, his power bar drains until he reaches 0 power. And during this time, Terrax cannot use special attacks, and his rock field is active, and Terrax loses power faster the longer his rock field has been active. So he seems to work in a very different way in comparison to a lot of other characters, which makes him a little bit hard to figure out exactly how good he's going to be. But while the rock field is active, he gains an additional massive chunk of attack rating. This is like almost 1,800 here. I don't know if this is based on like a 4-star or 5-star value, but also while it's active, nearby opponents take 500 energy damage for every second the rock field has been active, every half a second, and this scales with base attack only. So it kind of hints at several like points in the abilities, and we'll talk about these, that you can have the rock field active for like 20-30 seconds, and if you can have it active for that long, that's like 10,000 15,000 damage every half a second. So I think that's going to be really good. So I think he's got a lot of firepower to him if you can play him right and kind of keep your power up, and there are various ways to keep your power up, but the damage potential, it really does excite me. I think there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff damage-wise that you can do with Terrax. But also every half a second as well, there's a 20% chance to inflict an armor break debuff, reducing the opponent's armor rating by 83 for 8 seconds, and you can have a maximum of 10 stacks. But there is a way to refresh this as well and just keep on stacking up more armor breaks, which are very valuable for stuff like Abyss of Legends and all sorts of different matchups there. But also defensively speaking as well, while Rockfield is active, Terrax fights more aggressively. And I reckon Rockfield is just going to make him like an even more annoying version of Mephisto on defense. I think it is going to be really annoying, especially when combined with the Awakened ability, man, because the Awakened ability allows him to start, if we go all the way down here, with 66% of his max power. So that's like 2 bars of power instantly. It's just absolutely mad, and also allows him to pretty much start the fight with 2 power cosmic, which just allows him to like ramp up even quicker. So yeah, there's some pretty crazy stuff going on with Terrax, but let's take it back to the basics, talk about, you know, all of the additional stuff. Now you've got a rough idea of what's going on. So Terrax has immunity to shock and also bleed, so solid double immunity there. Shock, especially being a cosmic character, it's going to be very useful for variant 1 EMP mod on the final Ultron there, and bleed immunity has a lot of very wide uses as well. He's also immune to power drain, power steal, power burn, power lock, and innovate effects from metal champions due to his control over rock and earth. So you need a champion that can power burn, power lock, get rid of his power, that isn't a metal character. So that is a lot of tech champions that are out of the counter pool, but also Doctor Doom is a metal champion as well, so he's not going to be able to shut down Terrax. So maybe like Black Widow Clairvoyant, a bit of magic, maybe like Psylocke's going to be really good, maybe Spider-Gwen's going to be really good. I think we're going to have to see. Like, I think he is going to be a really annoying defender though, man. That is my my prediction right there. But he also has this persistent charge mechanic called Power Cosmic. So he gains 1 attack charge whenever he attacks the opponent and 2 attack charges whenever the opponent attacks him. He also gains 10 charges whenever one of his attacks misses the opponent, and he gains an attack charge every half a second while the opponent is inside his rock field. When he gains 50 attack charges, he's going to convert them into 1 Power Cosmic, and he can get a maximum of 2 of these per fight. So it only takes him 3 fights before he can ramp up to all 6 of them. So for each Power Cosmic he has, he gains an additional plus 10% power rate when struck, while Indestructible, max 60% there, and he's a lot of Indestructible by the look of it. But also for each Power Cosmic, Terrax gains an additional 110% power rate when blocking an attack while Indestructible, max 660% there. So if you're like blocking attacks, I think parrying attacks, I don't know if it works on parry as well, like well-timed blocks there, but that is a lot of power you get when blocking, and I think that maybe might be a part of Terrax, is to take some blocked hits while Indestructible, so you can get your power up, so you can keep Rockfield active for even longer. I think that might be a bit of a strategy there when it comes to this champion, but again, it's very hard to say. Also, when Terrax starts a Rockfield, he gains 1 Indestructible charge buff for each Power Cosmic, and these should be regular buffs because it hints that they interact with Mystic champions and the Mystic Dispersion Mastery and his weaknesses. So it looks like this is going to be some massive fuel for all sorts of Mystic champions to charge their power up, which is very, very nice there. Maybe actually Dr. Voodoo might be really, really good for this as well. But however, 1 Indestructible charge is removed each time Terrax is attacked, and I assume that counts like blocked hits as well. I assume it's like a similar-ish one in terms of its functionality to Killmonger, but you can't nullify Killmonger's Indestructible. So I think that might be the difference between the two. All remaining Indestructible charges are removed when Rockfield expires, and a maximum of 10 Indestructible charges can be had at any one point. So Terrax's Indestructible charge buffs only ignore damage from attacks and do not ignore damage from Special 3 attacks. So I think they might be able to ignore like regular special attacks as well. I'm not too sure if they have that like interaction, but I would probably assume so, man. So yeah, he's going to have access to a lot of Indestructible, so a massive, massive fail-safe, I would assume, when playing this champion. We all know how valuable Killmonger's Indestructible can be for, like, saving you, so I think this is going to be a great mechanic, man. I think it's going to be a really, really nice thing for the champion to have, and again, it's quite a quick ramp-up to get those 6 Indestructible, and every time you get Rockfield, you're going to get, you know, 6 Indestructible, and you can gain more Indestructible as well via the special 1 on top of that. So yeah, we've talked about the rock field and what that does and how it triggers. Again, off every single special attack, gives you more attack rating, energy damage that ramps up every single second nearby. This is the Armor Break refresh, so on a 4th light attack, so any combo with a light attack refreshes the duration of all personal Armor Break debuffs on the opponent, so you can have a maximum of 10 Armor Breaks, and also another much larger Armor Break on a Special 3 attack, which isn't like crazy large, man, but it's alright off his Special 3, and we'll talk about that soon. But he also has an additional form of burst on the heavy attacks. So the Rockfield power drain is paused while Terrax is charging a heavy attack, and if the rock field is active, this attack is guaranteed critical hit. Terrax does not gain power from this attack, but he gains up to 5,000 increased attack rating based on how long the rock field was active, up to 20 seconds. On hit, the rock field ends and consumes 100% of a bar of power. So this is a massive heavy attack, a massive attack bonus, a guaranteed crit. This is going to be a big hit at the end of every single rock field. So I'm looking forward to that, man. I think that heavy attack mechanic is going to be fun and definitely going to allow the damage to spike up a bit there. But I think his his damage rotation is going to be like, you know, a little bit dead while he doesn't have rock field, but as soon as he has rock field, it's just going to go up and up and up, and it's going to massively peak toward expiry and then be like, you know, going down and back up again, if that makes sense in terms of his rotation. But I think the damage, man, he is showing a lot of promise from what I can understand about this champion so far. So we've got the way his special attacks work, so they don't consume power instantly, they consume them over time, but you can't use another special attack until you reach 0 power by the look of it. So let's have a look at his specials. So if Terrax has less than 6 power cosmic, he gains 20 attack charges, so this is a way to initially ramp up your power cosmic there. And if he has 6+ power cosmic, he gains 3 indestructible charges until the rock field expires after this special attack. Then the final thing is the rock field triggered after this special attack has a flat plus 40% increased chance to armor break the opponent. So yeah, that sounds like a better way to more reliably stack up the armor breaks if you do need them and get a bit more indestructible. But I think most of the time the special 2 or special 3 is going to be the way to go, because the special 2 grants you a power gain buff, generating 40% of his max power over 12 seconds. So while your power is draining, this is going to be a source of power gain on top of like the blocked hits as well. So yeah, it seems like that's going to be really useful and mainly the go-to. It looks like the special 3 might be worth using like once in a longer fight because it stuns the opponent, but it also inflicts that bigger armor break, which you can constantly refresh if you want to. So the armor break is 850 for 15 seconds. On top of the 10 other armor breaks, it's like, what is it, 1,600 armor reduction total. And with all that armor break, you know, it's definitely going to help pad the damage a little bit more, especially with the attack rating increase while he has the rock field active as well. So yeah, maybe that's worth using in longer scenarios, I would imagine, but I think the special 2 is going to be the best way to have maximum uptime on rock field, I would assume. And yeah, we've got the signature ability that we talked about, allows him to start with 2 power cosmic and also 66% of his max power, so insta special 2, man, that's going to be really, really good, and also very, very annoying when it does come to defensive scenarios. So I will say I'm dreading fighting this dude because I think he is going to be a pain, but when it comes to playing this man, I think he's going to be really, really fun and bring some massive damage ramp up in longer fights. Now, when it comes to synergy bonuses, he's got one with Silver Surfer, the Heralds of Galactus synergy. So Terrax, when the rock field starts, you gain +1 indestructible charge buff. So yeah, that's pretty nice. Allows you to get up to the full 10 if you fire off the special 1 and you've got, you know, your max persistent charges as well. He's got one with Phoenix, where well-timed blocks give Terrax 3% of a bar of power. So I don't know how useful that's going to be. It seems quite low in terms of the power gain. It's 3% of a bar of power, not all of your power. So I don't think that's going to be like super spicy there. And also Phoenix, when striking with her 4th light attack, Phoenix consumes one of her personal fury buffs, increasing the damage by 100%. So it seems okay for Phoenix, but not really the synergy that's gonna, you know, bring her to that crazy beyond god tier or god tier damage level, at least in my opinion. And then we've got one with Red Hawk and Mordo. So Terrax gains a plus 15% chance to armor break during his rock field, so this seems okay for shorter matchups, maybe not so great for the longer ones. Also gives Red Hulk, on his first heavy hit, he can consume a heat charge and inflict an armor break debuff, reducing the opponent's armor rating by 50%. So it gives Red Hulk like an additional piece of utility there, but it does consume a heat charge, so it does come at some sort of damage expense, but maybe in, you know, the right matchup might have its uses there. Also Mordo, while charging a heavy attack, if the opponent attacks, Mordo will astral evade, and that has a 25-second cooldown. So I quite like this one, man. It's a fun little thing. This should probably be like on Mordo already. It'd be a great thing for him to have, but yeah, it's a nice little synergy, man. It's not too bad there. And he's got one with Annihilus. He gains plus 15% attack rating, so I reckon one's going to be pretty decent for him. And also Annihilus, all fury buffs last an additional 1 second. So again, that really isn't like that great there. So yeah, overall, man, I'm excited for Terrax. I think he's got a lot of very, very spicy damage output potential. I'm worried that I don't know if his utility is going to be enough, but he does have, you know, bleed immunity, shock immunity, and I think he doesn't necessarily need to hit into the opponent as much as other champions, maybe to get his damage output. So, I don't know, man. I'm curious. I'm curious to see what the Indestructible is going to feel like to play with, because there's a lot of Indestructible that he does have access to as well. But I think, you know, from reading both of the abilities, I'm excited for Mole Man. I'm very excited for Terrax as well. They both seem like banging champions. I think I haven't read, like, one of the character bios and thought this champion kind of sucks. I think they both have very solid potential. And I'm seeing, like, God tier potential for both, but it's always very hard to tell until you actually play the champions, see how practical they are. So yeah, man, I'm excited for both. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comments section below, Mole Man or Terrax, which one is tickling your pickle right now? Which one are you most excited for? And if you did enjoy the breakdowns, please do smash that like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. But aside from that, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.